Yeah, what was it like actually launching that map and saying, instead of doing it for free, you're saying, right, you need to pay $20 for this, and then secondly, getting some of first sales for that.
I was so nervous.
Yeah.
I worried about whether I had priced it too high. I went back and forth on whether it should be, 14.95 or 19.95. I even, was like, maybe even that's too much. Like, I really kind of, I guess, agonized over it. And it's just that worry that you're going to put something out there and no one's going to buy it. And it's like, well, what's the worst case that happens? You put it out there and no one buys it. Like,
Mm.
fine. Um, but I had kind of been posting about it every day in the lead up to, or every few days in the lead up to, and just trying to build that again, like building that community that's like waiting for the product. So that when you're launching to people who want it rather than
Mm.
just launching and then trying to find people to buy it. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I think has made a difference for my personal journey is that like I've always found the community first, figured out what they want, and then I've given them a product that answers that rather than what a lot of people do, which is like, oh, I think this is a cool product. I'm going to make this. Now I've got to go and try and find people and convince them that this is
Mm.
cool. Like that's a way harder way to do business. Um, but yeah, it was really cool. Like I launched, I think it was like 8 o'clock at night. My daughter had gone to sleep, and the website went live, and had those Squarespace notifications coming in that people were buying it, and I just could not believe it that people were willing to pay, and like strangers on the internet who just wanted to support me and support this idea, and that was just such a cool feeling, and I think
Mm.
it was really motivating to be like, wow,
Real.
this is
Yeah.
real. This is like something that people want, and I've made it and they like it. And I was also really nervous, I would say, after I had launched it, probably for like a couple of weeks, about what the feedback would be and whether people would think that it was worth the $20 that they'd spent.
Mm.
And so it wasn't just like the nerves leading up to launching it. Are people going to pay? It was then like, it was almost like, are they going to regret paying? Like, are they still going to see the value afterwards? And the feedback was really positive. People were super supportive about it, and had like people would leave reviews and things. And it was always really great. So
I always think as well with that, and this maybe just help some people who are thinking about starting something, you can always give people their money back. Like if
yeah,
they're really that angry
yeah,
or don't value it,
yeah,
you can say, oh, sorry,
yeah,
this isn't the feedback that I'm getting from 97% of people, but you've had really bad experience. I'm
yeah,
happy to give you your $20 back. Or even if it's, say, someone like mowing the lawns and
yeah,
someone's like, you do a shit job of it. Okay, like, I'm really sorry. You can
yeah,
just give them their money back. You've lost your time, but you've built experience. And then you're not going to do the same thing the next time,
yeah,
you know? And I think we worry about all the other stuff on the other side and forget that that's actually a lever that we can
yeah,
still apply should that feedback actually come. But I
yeah.
think 99% of the time that feedback doesn't come and people are happy with what they've paid for.
And I think if you do end up giving somebody back their money, or, refunding them, like my experience is always that turns them into a more loyal customer, or like that makes them more inclined to buy from you in the future because there's this element of trust that you now have. And I'm not out here to try and screw people over and to try and like make as much money as possible. I created a product that I wanted to help people. And so if it's not helping them and they're upset about it, and it's like I want that feedback as well.
Mm.
But yeah, it's interesting like that. This is kind of on a tangent, but at the end of last year, I hosted this Christmas party for mums, and we had 80 people come along to that, and we had some guest speakers. Susie Cato was one. It was awesome.
Nice.
And yeah, and it was really a really cool event. But somebody who had come along to that had it was a 3-course sit down meal, and it was like sharing plates, feasting style.
Yeah.
And somebody, when they bought their tickets, had let me know they had these dietary requirements, and I'd passed that on to the venue, and the venue maybe didn't handle it like quite as well as they could have, with letting that person know what they could and couldn't eat, what was yeah, and the person, anyway, they were really upset about it. Anyway, they didn't say anything on the night, and so we didn't know. But afterwards they contacted me and said, hey, like I'm pregnant, there was not a lot that I could eat. I wasn't sure what was, gluten free and what wasn't. And they were really quite upset about it. And exactly to your point, I was like, this is not the experience that I wanted you to have. You paid quite a lot of money to come to this
Mm.
dinner. You weren't able to eat anything, and I offered them a refund for coming along, because it's like that's not the experience that I want them to walk away with, of feeling like they traveled all that way for this event. The event was really disappointing. They were pregnant.
Yeah.
And I think it's like it's I'm fortunate to be in a position where like the business has that buffer where we can do things like that. But yeah, I don't know. It's not the way that I want to do business, where I'm like, oh well, screw you, you paid.
Yeah.
That's just not
Suck
that's
it
not
up.
ever that's
Yeah.
not ever how I want to do business. So trying to hold on to those like values as well, and just try and do the right thing.